Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 16 of the Hilltop Sports Report. My name is Jumpin Jack Carlson, your host. We're focusing on men's basketball here on the Hilltop as the Cornell Bremner Cup rivalry comes to Mount Vernon this Wednesday. Without further ado, let's hit the music and start the show.
Let's go Rams! Let's go Rams!
And here inside the Academic Technology Studio in the Cole Library on Cornell College's campus, I'm pleased to be joined by junior guard Jayden Meeker and junior guard Giannis Psaroudakis. Did I get that right, Giannis?
Close enough, to be honest, but yeah, you developed better than I thought in the beginning of the year.
Okay, this is good. Progress is what we're aiming for. So on this episode, we're going to give a bit of a debrief on what's going to happen this year for Cornell men's basketball as the Cornell rivalry comes to Mount Vernon on Wednesday. There's going to be a lot of excitement inside the Small Athletic and Wellness Center. So to start things off, we'll start with you, Jayden. Being a Meeker here at Cornell, obviously everybody knows your father, Jeff Meeker, is the head volleyball coach, the winningest coach in Cornell history, no matter the sport. So what has it been like for you personally to play here at Cornell with the legacy that your father has created?
Yeah, so I think having my dad here is one of the best coaches of all time probably here, and then obviously my sister had a pretty good career here too. I think I might have a lot to live up to, but I just like playing here. I enjoy playing here with my teammates. I have a lot of fun, but I don't feel too much pressure to live up to their names. But it's just great here. I get to see them every day, and yeah, I just love it here. So
yeah, obviously everything that Jeff Meeker does for the program, just absolutely fantastic. So Giannis, you have an interesting tale. So you're in the middle of Iowa now. You grew up in Greece. That's a little bit of ways away. So what brought you to Cornell?
To begin with, I was trying to find a college that is going to give me the opportunity to be as good as athletic in the academic department too. So I believe my choice to come here was incredible for those standards. I believe the whole experience here at Cornell is unique, the campus, the society. It's completely unique feeling to play with those fans, even with the toilet papers, at the co-games and stuff like that. You can't find those stuff anywhere else in the world. So, and trust me, I've traveled the world. So, yeah, that's a really unique experience.
That's really neat. And so you mentioned the co-game. It's coming up fast and furious here as we record this podcast on Tuesday. It's going to happen Wednesday night in Mount Vernon. We'll have the toilet paper toss as per usual. And so talk about what that means for you guys to start the season off with the Co-Hawks. Game 1, is the team ready for it?
Oh yeah, so obviously Co is a huge rivalry with Cornell, and in our 2 years here, me and Giannis, we have yet to beat the Co-Hawks. So
0-4.
Yeah, 0-4. Had a couple close ones last year. Our freshman year weren't so close, but I don't know. For us, it's just getting that first win against us and feeling how it feels to beat our big rivals. And I think this year we definitely have as good of a shot as ever. Obviously last year we had a couple close ones, lost on a game winner, and then the second one I think we were up by maybe 15 in the first half, something like that. We just lost it, and I think this year we're coming in more ready to go than we have been in past, and I think that's just really going to help us out, and I think we can get our first one against them this year. So.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I believe in our both years here at Cornell, we had a slow start. So even with Coach Klabana, we're trying to have the team ready to compete as soon as possible, from game 1, from the first possession. So yeah, we believe that it's going to be a really good game for us. We're going to be competitive. And yeah, I believe we have a lot of chance to win the game.
So talk about the slow start in the past couple of years. That's been something that the team has kind of struggled with. You just mentioned the team's going to try and be ready game 1 this year, try and have things ironed out, ready to go. What are some of the things that you've seen in practice that have given you hope that this team is going to start off guns a-blazing this year?
Yeah, obviously our first 2 years, we've kind of struggled coming out the gates. Our freshman year, we started off about 2-6 or something like that. Last year we were 1-5, sorry. And And I think this year, one thing that's helped us is everyone got 8 practices before the season starts, and I think we really utilize those well. Because Coach Schlaubaugh has been really making it a point that he wants us to be ready for the first game, as Giannis said. But he's been really trying to give us like in-game reps and in-game. We've been practicing how we're going to be playing. So I think those practices from the start, we've been, rather than just like kind of doing skill work, shooting, like he's kind of been expecting us to do that kind of stuff on our own, come in and shoot on our own. But he's been at practice we've really been trying to figure out our offense, defense, and how we're going to be running things. And I think that's really been beneficial for us.
Also, like the team spirit in every practice or even outside, even better than the last years, like the transfers, like the freshmen that they came. I believe they have a lot of things to offer to the team. So honestly, I believe it's going to be one of our best year as a program, like here at Cornell. We are ready.
That's really exciting. And so getting into some of the personnel for a minute. Obviously, Jayden, you and Zach were prolific scorers last year, looking to continue that going into this year, in addition to a couple of transfers coming in, Connor and also Dylan, so Connor Barnett and Dylan Hurley. Those 2 transferring in, that's going to bring a lot of size to this starting lineup for the Rams. So what are you expecting personnel-wise out of this Rams team?
Absolutely. Obviously, we're expecting a lot from me and Zach coming back as all-conference players. But aside from us two, I think our teams are going to be focusing on us two a lot. But we also bring a lot to the table with obviously the transfers. But also, we're going to have a lot of guys from our team last year that are going to be stepping into bigger roles too. So Dylan and Connor were big additions. Both are really solid players, can score the ball in a lot of different ways, and then got guys like Julian Cleary, who's just he's a great scorer, can do a lot of good things for us. Jax Herring, guys like Charlie Robinson, he can knock down threes. Jacob King's been getting in the rotation a little bit, really good shooter. Trey Tothero, Braxton Beard, guys like that who haven't gotten real varsity experience, but have been with us for the last 3 years, improving, gaining experience. But now that, their time has come, I think they're ready to go and ready to step in for us and do good things for us too. And then we got LC, or Logan Christensen, coming off a foot injury. He missed a lot of time, but he was obviously a big piece the last 2 years in our championship 2 years ago, and then last year he was a big part of it too. And just getting him back has been really big for us. He's really our best vocal leader, and as soon as he got back to practice, I think our intensity really stepped it up. So having him back too has been really beneficial for us, and I think he's going to be a big part of our team this year again. So
yeah, also like some really good freshmen that they came this year, like Max McGrath, if I say the last name correctly, and Ben Kimack. I believe they also have things to offer this year for the team. And yeah, I'm so interested to see what's going to happen this year, and so happy that the season is finally starting.
Absolutely. Yeah, this team is extremely deep. I've been to a couple of your practices. It's really nice to have all of these guys that can step in if needed throughout the season. That makes me very excited for the season. So let's get into the coaching staff for a little bit. So obviously, Coach Dave Schlaubaugh is the head man of the program. What has he meant to each of you individually, but also athletically out there on the court?
Yeah, I just think he's a great leader in telling us what we need to do and how we need to do it in order for us to be successful on and off the court too. I just think he's been doing a lot more with how we have our team values, and like in the past he kind of just says it's just what we do, be smart, do the right things at all times. But this year he's been kind of more of been giving us some things to go off of in the sense that I think one of the biggest things he's been talking about this year is for us to be disciplined in kind of every way. And it's just like doing things because you have to do it, or because you just know you got to do it in order for us to be successful. And then he also has just been really big on competing this year. And because, I think we got a lot of talented guys. And if we're not competing the way we need to compete, we're not as good as we can be. So that's just things like doing things you can control and doing them to your best ability. And just getting in the stance on defense, going after rebounds, doing things like that. It's what's going to make us a successful pro this year.
Speaking about Coach Schlaubaugh, he's always there for us. He's always in every turnover that we have, every mistake, Even in every good play that we're doing, he's like next to us, like guiding us, like telling us like our mistakes, like how to be better, like what to do in every occasion in the game. And also like Coach Zach Sklaba and Coach Klein, Coach Bufford are always here for us. Like they're a really good coaching staff. So yeah, I believe we are not only gonna be good this year, but we are also gonna be developed for the next year, because as juniors we have the next year also to play. And yeah, I'm really excited.
That sounds great. And so pushing this ahead to the conference, last year Cornell went to the title game against Illinois College, a team that Cornell beat in Mount Vernon. That was a thrilling game, perhaps the most thrilling game in Mount Vernon of last season. Obviously, Illinois College got the Rams in the championship game. Then you push it back a couple of years. The Rams beat Ripon in 2 overtimes. That was your guys' freshman year. A thrilling game. The Rams went to the NCAA tournament. So Cornell men's basketball, no stranger to postseason, contending for an NCAA tournament berth. So this year, what's the expectation to do in the conference, potentially going into the NCAA tournament again?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think all of us know we're going into this season expecting to win the regular season and the conference tournament. I just think, last year we kind of had that chance too, and dropped a couple of games to Lake Forest, which probably shouldn't have happened, and then dropped one to Ripon and one to IC in the regular season. I think we finished 12-4, so I mean that easily could have been something else. But I think this year we're going in with the mindset that we're the best team in the league, and with that mindset, I think we really can be if we just believe in how we can play. IC is obviously bringing a lot back, and we had a couple not so great games against them last year, but obviously we beat them one time last year too. And I just think we play how we can play. We can definitely take them down.
Yeah, like in our freshman year, I believe we had like 2 or 3 tough losses at the end of the year. I remember one against Lawrence here, if I'm correctly. Like our plan this year is to avoid like those losses, to be like ready to compete at every game. We're looking every game differently at the other, So, like, even in our practices, like, Coach Club is telling us that we need, first of all, to have our first NCAA tournament win in the history of Cornell, and then we can go, like, far at the tournament. So, yeah, now they are prepared for us. They know the teams in the Midwest Conference that we are going to compete this year. So yeah, we'll have to be ready.
That sounds great. And the Rams will be tipping off the season this Wednesday. So when this episode is released tonight, if you're in town, make sure to stop by the Small Athletic and Wellness Center and maybe bring along some toilet paper too for the toilet paper toss at the beginning of the game. So thank you so much to both of you for stopping by on this episode of the podcast. Really appreciate the insight into Cornell Rams men's basketball and look forward to seeing you both compete this year.
Thanks for having us, Jack.
Thank you, Jack.
All right, so best of luck to the Rams, and my name is Jumpin Jack Carlson, telling you to make sure to follow the Cornell Rams social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, as to when episode 17 of the podcast will drop. Thank you so much for listening. I'll see you next time.